What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Nostalgia Podcast. In today's episode of Nerd Nostalgia, you're going to find me, Irvin, doing a solo episode and bringing to you Rumors Are Us. In this episode specifically, I'm going to be discussing the upcoming Spider-Man movie and specifically a character that I think is going to end up having a cameo in this. Just a gut instinct, something that I think is going to happen, and not a lot of people are talking about it. So excited to bring that to you guys. All right, well, you know the drill, guys. Please head over to Apple Podcasts, drop that 5-star, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about us. Help us grow this audience. Okay, let's get into it. Before we get started, here's a quick clip for you to enjoy.
I'm Miho Nishizumi, and this is Nerd Nostalgia Podcast. And thanks for stopping by. Panzer Vor!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Nostalgia Podcast. Thank you for joining me on this day, night, middle of the day, lunchtime, whatever this is for you. Welcome. I'm excited to talk about this rumor. I have a little bit of evidence that I've based this rumor off of, and things are just kind of starting to add up for me. So I'm excited to share this with you guys. And if you remember, the last Rumors Are Us that we did was probably over a year ago. I'd have to fact check that. Give me 1 second here. I just looked it up, and yeah, it was January 20th of 2020. So well over a year, about a year and a half later, we're doing another Rumors Are Us. I should do these more consistently. It's just, for some reason, I get a lot of other content that I want to get out to you guys. But in that episode, we discussed Batman joining the MCU. And I'm not talking about Keaton. I was talking about Bale at the time. Now, we knew that Keaton had played Vulture already. Obviously, that's one Batman. But I was talking about Christian Bale. We were talking about the possibilities of who his character could be. And there was a few things that I had read that were leading up to his current role, which it's still not confirmed, but pretty much is that he's going to be the God Butcher, Gore the God Butcher, right? And I remember specifically reading an article or something that he was going to be on like a CGI effect, and that essentially he was going to be doing the same things that the Hulk does, that Mr. Ruffalo, Mark Ruffalo, has to do for the Hulk, which is put on the CGI stuff, be on stilts, and all that kind of stuff. So if you've never seen that, go ahead and Google that. You can actually see what it looks like. It's pretty interesting and pretty cool, that technology has gotten to that place. So anyways, today's rumor is centered around the Spider-Verse, okay? We've discussed this before. Back in October, we had a specific full episode titled Live Action Spider-Verse Movie. Go listen to that episode. You'll be able to get all the info that we had back then. But this episode's going to be a little bit different. Now, add all of that information from that. So the Sinister Six, Venom crossing over, all that kind of stuff, right? There's a couple of points that have recently come up that stuck out to me. While reading articles or watching videos, something popped up in my mind. We know that Tom Holland is slated for 3 movies, like on his contract, like that's all he has left with the MCU. And whenever they were like splitting custody, whenever mom and dad, Sony and Marvel were fighting over contract negotiations, all that kind of stuff, they came to an arrangement, 3 movies, and then maybe 2 cameo movies or something, but basically 3 main movies. And so they restructured all that. So I want to say that's coming to an end. But during that time frame, they were like, oh no, Sony was saying this, we have plans for making Tom Holland's Spider-Man epic and great. And even Tom was like, I'm excited, whether I'm with the MCU or Sony, I'm excited to just continue doing this character. And what I have heard that they have planned is awesome. And if I remember correctly, I want to say he was the one that actually got the studios to kind of talk to each other again and broker a deal and all that kind of stuff. So one fact that we know, Sony has created the Sonyverse, right? I forget what they're calling it. They're calling it Sony's Marvel Cinematic Universe or something like that. You dummies, just coin it Sonyverse, so much easier. Obviously, you're not getting rid of your IP with Spider-Man, that's going to stick around, so just call it the Sonyverse. Spider-Verse could still work too, but I digress. So we know they have over 900 characters, and they're going to start building different shows based around that. We have Silk that's coming out, Venom is coming, Morbius is on deck. Already said Venom, right? Venom, Let There Be Carnage. That's going to, I think, unload a lot of different characters. In this upcoming Marvel movie, though, we know for a fact different characters have already been cast. So let's go through that list real quick. Who do we know for a fact that's already been cast? So obviously we know that Tom Holland's coming back as our boy Peter Parker from the MCU. Personally, my favorite of the three thus far, the three live actions. We still need to do that episode too, by the way, fellas. Zendaya is coming back as MJ. Love her. Absolutely, absolutely love her. Jacob Batalon is coming back as Ned Leeds. Super excited for that character and his future, especially because he's like super shredded now. So I'm super intrigued by how they're going to approach his role. I want to say he's going to become a bad guy, but I don't know. Who knows? Tony Revolori as Flash Thompson, the dickhead, the douche, obviously, his arch nemesis at school. We have Marissa Tomei as May Parker, sexy Aunt May, which is awesome. That's new, you know. Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. He's going to be a helping hand in that. Now, this is where it starts to get interesting, and we know this is confirmed. So we'll go through a couple more confirmed ones. We know that Jamie Foxx is coming back as Electro from the second series of Spider-Man movies, The Amazing Spider-Man, with Andrew Garfield in it. We know that Alfred Molina is coming back as Otto Octavius, as Doc Ock, from the original Sam Raimi series with Tobey Maguire. Now, because these two different characters are from those other universes, if you will, and kind of creating part of the Sinister Six, I don't know if that's going to be part of the plot or story. It may be, I don't know. But even if it isn't, we know for a fact that those two characters have been cast, which in turn leads one to believe, oh, if you can bring in the bad guys from those series, from those universes, why couldn't you bring in some of the other characters? Characters such as Kristen Dunst as Mary Jane Watson, characters such as Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, another character, for example, Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, or Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. And I'm going to cap off here with one more rumor, is Charlie Cox as Daredevil. That's a whole nother universe. Now, we know that the Multiverse of Madness, that's going to end up basically confirming what's going to happen here pretty soon. So my point in bringing all of this up is those characters are confirmed. That is basically confirming the multiverse, right? The Spider multiverse. Sony still has the rights. We don't know if Tom's going to stay at the MCU or if he's going to go back to Sony or how that's going to play out. But I think the solution, the compromise, is going to be to give a character to the MCU and give a character to the Sonyverse and have them stay together but be separate at the same time, kind of like they're planning, like they're saying. But Miles Morales, I think that's going to be the compromise. And now hear me out. Before you start saying, Irvin, you're crazy, man. You're a lunatic. Why would they have Miles? Well, number one, we know that the Prowler exists in the MCU. We know for a fact that Miles' uncle has been in the MCU. He was that one scene in Spider-Man Homecoming. We know that Aaron Davis even refers to his nephew and has a whole interaction, a funny scene with our Peter Parker, our Tom Holland Peter Parker. We know Aaron Davis becomes Prowler. We know that Miles is there. So we know for a fact he exists, right? So I was curious, how are they going to bring that up? What would I do? How would I, keep Tom Holland, but then at the same time create a whole nother Spider-Man for my universe? Miles. It's exactly what happened in the Ultimate Universe, right? He was such a popular character that they're like, you know what? Why don't you come over to the regular universe? And everybody else is gone. But you stayed, right? So there's two Spider-Men. We have the Miles Morales, which obviously with Marvel wanting to broaden their demographic reach, half black, half Hispanic, Puerto Rican kid, from New York, that's going to definitely enhance it, So I don't have a tinfoil hat. I'm bringing you some evidence here. That's what I would do. I would bring in Miles Morales. Now, I am curious. There was a little point there where Tom Holland, Zendaya, and Jacob, so Peter, MJ, and Ned, right, all respective to their characters, they were teasing us back in, when was it? It was like April, February, when was it? I think it was February. Yep, I just fact-checked myself. February 23rd, or right around that time frame, they were teasing us with different names of what the movie was going to be called. So somebody put up Spider-Man Phone Home, Spider-Man Home Wrecker, Spider-Man Home Slice. So they were teasing us, they were trolling us, it was hilarious. But then days after, they debuted the actual name of the upcoming third installment of the movie, which it's going to be titled Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, I want you to go back. I want you to Google it, Spider-Man No Way Home. You can actually look it up. There was a whiteboard with all the different names that they were thinking of. And, of course, all those other ones were on there, right? The Home Slice, the Home Wrecker, the Phone Home. All those were on there. There was a couple other ones that were on there, too, that were pretty funny. They had different ones like Home Sweet Home, Can't Find Home, Stay at Home, Zoning Home, Phoning Home, Homeschooled, Homesick, just all kinds of stuff, right? And it has like drawings and everything like that. But in at the center, it says Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, I want you to go, now that you have this looked up, you have it there right in front of you, right? I'll give you a second to Google it. Just type in Spider-Man No Way Home whiteboard, and it should pop up. So now that you've done that, I want you to Google map of Puerto Rico. Tell me those two don't look identical. And as you know, Marvel just doesn't do stuff just to do stuff. Everything is calculated, everything is for a reason, everything is planned out. Feige, you genius, you. So you're asking yourself, Irvin, why am I looking up at a Puerto Rican map outline? Yes, the outline. Okay, I see the resemblance there to the Spider-Man No Way Home Center. Oh, guess who's Puerto Rican? Guess who's half Puerto Rican? Miles fucking Morales. So, again, to confirm, I do not have a tinfoil hat. This is just, I'm just adding it all up. Adding it all up, y'all. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. So yeah, that's the main reason that I have this in my head, in my mind, that's what they're going to do. They're going to have a quote-unquote ultimate version, if you will, and it's going to be him introduced. Now, we don't know if he's going to be into the MCU as well, if Tom now has to go over to the Sonyverse. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to get worked out, but I'm a betting man, and I would bet that this is going to be, or something similar is going to happen, and that Miles is going to make his MCU debut. Number one, it's a cash grab. Again, broadening the demographics, half black, half Hispanic. That just, it helps broaden your demographic, right? Because I want to say there is no Hispanic Marvel character at the moment. I don't think any of the characters are Hispanic. No, I take that back. One character is that I can think of off the top of my head.
Just give me the facts.
Just the facts. Only the facts.
Breathe. Focus. Keep it simple.
No doubt. Okay, so I'm at this art museum with my cousin Ignacio, right? And there was this like abstract expressionism exhibit. But you know me, I'm more like a neo-cubist kind of guy, right? But there was this one Rothko that was sublime, bro. Oh my God.
Luis.
Okay, sorry. I just get excited and stuff. But anyway, and Ignacio tells me, yo, I met this crazy fine writer chick at the spot last night. Like, fine, like crazy stupid fine. And he goes up to the bartender and goes, look at the girl I'm with. You know what I'm saying? She's crazy stupid fine, right? The bartenders are all like, yeah, crazy stupid fine. So this writer chick tells Ignacio, yo, I'm like a boss in the world of guerrilla journalism, and I got mad connects with the peeps behind the curtains, you know what I'm saying? Ignacio's like, for real? And she's like, yeah. You know what? I can't tell you who my contact is because he works with the Avengers. Oh, no. Yeah, and this dude sounds like a badass, man. Like, he comes up to him and says, yo, I'm looking for this dude who's new on the scene, who's, like, flashing this fresh tack, who's got, like, bomb moves, right? Who you got? She's like, well, we got everything nowadays. We got a guy who jumps. We got a guy who swings. We got a guy who crawls up the walls. You gotta be more specific. And he's like, I'm looking for a guy that shrinks. And I'm like, damn, I got all nervous because I keep mad secrets for you, bro. So I asked Ignacio, the badass, to tell the stupefied writer chick, to tell you, to tell me, because I'm tight with that man, that he's looking for him.
And? What'd he say?
He said yes.
So, if you couldn't guess it, number one, I love that scene. I love that actor. Michael Pena as Luis in the MCU is, in fact, the only Hispanic character in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Disney, please, if you're trying to broaden our demographics here a little bit, if you're trying to get it, yeah, definitely need more Hispanic characters in the MCU. So please remedy that, because he's also not even a superhero. So that would be wonderful if we could get one, something like a Black Panther, embrace the people type of thing. That would be wonderful. Anyways, I digress. Back to what we're talking about. Miles Morales possibly coming in to expand. So that's it, guys. That's where my head is at. I genuinely think he's going to make his debut. It's going to be a cameo. This is my gut instinct. It's going to be a cameo in the movie in December. How it's all going to tie together, if he's going to bounce around from Sonyverse to MCU, that I don't know. That I can't answer. I'm not making the moves. Kevin, give me a call, shoot me a text, let me know if I'm getting warmer here. But I definitely think that it's going to happen in some capacity. Again, it'd be stupid if you didn't. Popular character, broadens your diversity, gives the Latin voice at least a half a voice. So the Latin people half a voice. Sorry, I can barely talk. But yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, let me recap it, right? So number one, we know for a fact that the multiverse exists, right? Because there's a movie called The Multiverse of Madness. That'll be the upcoming Doctor Strange movie. Number two, we know that several characters from already established movies, Spider-Man movies, are going to be in the newest movie. So boom, that's two. Number three, they teased, this is something I didn't say earlier, in the second Spider-Man movie, in Far From Home, we had a scene where Jake Gyllenhaal teases that he's from a different Earth. That's his whole storyline, his backstory. Again, it's not something that Marvel just does, so another on-purpose thing. From there, we have the biggest indicator to me, which maybe I am wearing a tinfoil hat, maybe I'm not, but I'm pretty positive I'm not. The map of Puerto Rico is literally drawn on the brainstorming session on the whiteboard, and it looks exactly like that. So that's it. That's all I got to say. That's the recap. I think Miles is going to make his debut. He's going to make at least a cameo appearance. And I do remember, actually, another thing about it, I do remember reading a rumor that he's already been cast and that he's like snuck into the movie. And this was before I had even come up with this. So I want to say that he's going to make a cameo appearance in December when the movie comes out. And I hope I'm right, because I think that would be absolutely badass. I love Miles. He's a cool character. I have his first appearance, as do hundreds of thousands of people, because they printed a lot of that in Ultimate Fallout 4. Go look for the white variant. I think that's going to be the rare one. There's also the one where he's unmasked. I think those will end up being the more sought after ones in the future. But yeah, I have all of those. Actually, no, I don't have the unmasked one, now that I think about it. Like, he's unmasked, but it's his head. I need the one where he's like full suit. Like, it looks like the regular one. If you look at the covers, the first and second print. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here, but I do need it. I need to pick it up. I think it runs a couple $100s, though. It's just not high on my list, but I will eventually get it because I have the other ones, so why not? Or maybe sell one and then get a low-grade copy, and then... Anyways, no. I'm getting distracted over here, guys. But that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, please head over to Apple Podcasts, drop that 5-star, tell your friends, family, and coworkers about us. Leave us some comments, DM us. We love interacting with you guys. And by we, I mean me, because I'm the one who manages the social media account. And every once in a while, the guys get on and, give me some feedback and stuff as well. But yeah, please chat with us. I love doing it. I love chatting with you guys. It can be about comic books. It can be about upcoming movies. It can be about anything. All that kind of stuff is fair game. And in this instance, comment what you think. Is Miles going to make his MCU debut in December? Did I give you enough evidence? Am I cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'll make a post. You guys drop it, and we'll see what you guys think. I think this is going to be a good conversation piece. I'm hoping that a lot of people will end up commenting on this one, because I think it'll be a good topic, and it'll get things, get people chatting. So we'll see what you guys think. All right, well, that's it, guys. I'll catch you all on the next episode, and remember, stay nerdy, my friends.